What if Squid Game played human chess? Everyone is split into two teams, each standing on a massive chessboard of pressure-sensitive tiles. Now, here's the twist. There'll be no chess master controlling the pieces. On each turn, whoever steps first decides the move for their team. If someone else moves after that or moves in a way their piece can't, they're gone. The game continues until one team runs out of time or gets checkmated. What if everything was 100 times bigger in Squid Game? The dorm beds would look like skyscrapers, and even a single boiled egg would be the size of a house. In red light, green light, it'd take forever to reach the finish line, and in tug of war, the rope would be so massive they couldn't even hold it. As for Dalgona, the sugary scent would attract insects the size of trucks, so players would end up getting eaten alive. What if Squid Game was pay to win? In the dorm, you'd see players flex their limited edition cosmetics, and those who bought the battle pass would get comfier beds and softer pillows, plus a pet cat. You could also buy loot boxes to unlock special weapons before each game. And if you're still beaten by a free-to-play player after that, you can either pay for the revive button to get back in or just watch a 30-second ad. What if Squid Game was played by actual squids? In red light, green light, they could camouflage or burrow into the sand so the doll never spots them. During Dalgona, they'd use their tentacles to carve the candy instantly. Then in Tug of War, they'd suction cup themselves to the floor and refuse to budge. But during the night fight, because squids are still low on the food chain and Gi-hun is hungry, he'd be the one to survive and enjoy an accidental seafood buffet. What if Japan hosted Squid Game instead? The first game is still red light, green light, but the doll and guards will look like they got blasted by a full-power Japanizing beam. Same goes with new players. Instead of Dalgona, everyone must play Draw the Anime character, where each person gets a random character, some very easy to draw, others nearly impossible. And instead of the glass bridge, contestants must cross a giant room of tatami mats, with half the tiles dropping instantly once stepped. What if Squid Game was played in reverse order? The final game, Squid Game itself, comes first. So with 456 players, the arena would have to be massive to fit everyone inside the squid. Then in Glass Bridge, with 228 players left, only about 18 would die, making it one of the easiest rounds ever. By the time you reach red light, green light, everyone's already survived tougher games, so this one just feels like a warm-up. If red light, green light happened on the moon, everyone would be in danger the second the game starts. And it's not just because there's no oxygen to breathe from, but because sound can't travel through a vacuum, you won't hear the doll give the signal. But most importantly, the moon's gravity is just 1/6 of Earth's. So while the guards' bullets won't hit you, one wrong bounce and you're already lost in space. What if Squid Game had no guards at all? Believe it or not, the games would still go on. Without a single human in charge, robots will lead players to the next game. And back at the dorm, with no one to serve meals, players have to rely on vending machines that only activate after each round. Most importantly, losing wouldn't involve getting shot anymore. Each player would wear a collar linked to the game system, so if they lose, it explodes. What if Squid Game had no rules at all? Players could bring anything they want, meaning they could cheat every game with 0 consequences. And since nothing is off limits, they could play each round however they want. Or maybe not play at all. When the next game starts, the arena would be completely empty because everyone stayed in the dorm making up their own games instead. They'd even start betting with the piggy bank money because there's no such rule stopping them from doing so. What if Squid Game lasts forever? Every time someone dies, new players are brought in the very next day. Each round mixes old games with brand new ones, getting harder and stranger every time. And the cycle never stops. Once one game ends, another begins in an instant, endlessly reshuffling survivors and newcomers. Which means you could technically live forever, if you've got what it takes. What if Squid Game played Among Us? There are 10 players and everyone thinks 2 are imposters. They're stuck on a broken spaceship and they have to fix it fast. Meanwhile, the imposters have to kill everyone first. Each time someone dies, players can vote to eject whoever they think is an imposter. But here's the twist. There are actually no imposters at all. The ship's just filled with deadly traps, leaving 10 terrified people accusing each other until none remain. This is what Squid Game arm wrestling would look like. Two players sit across from each other with deadly sharp spikes on both equal ends. So the loser doesn't just lose, they get stabbed as well. Now, during the game, the knives will slowly rise higher every second, closing in until one player eventually loses. What if Squid Game played dodgeball? It begins with two teams of 10 players facing off on floating platforms. The goal is to hit the other side to eliminate them. But unlike regular dodgeball, when you're hit, you don't get eliminated right away. It triggers a 10-second red timer where you can pass that elimination to a teammate by hitting them with the same ball. Each round lasts 4 minutes, and the team with the most players left wins. This is what the first Squid Game probably looked like. In 1988, the organization was still small, which meant fewer players and smaller prize money. The games would have taken place on a tiny field. Guards are posted at every corner, the players are crammed in the middle, and the VIPs watch from the bleachers. Without the animatronic tech back then, it was just one guy with a megaphone screaming, and with no motion tracking cameras, the guards themselves had to stare you down and shoot the second you moved. If a giant creepy doll tried throwing you into space, you'd have to be launched at over 25,000 miles per hour. That's 10 times faster than a speeding bullet. You'd even be faster than the fastest rocket humans have ever built. You'd hit escape velocity, and Earth's gravity won't be able to pull you back down. But in reality, the sheer force of the launch would crush your body almost instantly. If you wake up and the room starts flooding, here's what you do. First, make a run for the main doors and try to open them. If they're locked, well, obviously they would be. Next, swim to the top and check the ceiling. There might be rafters, vents, or some kind of opening. But when the water keeps rising, grab as much air as you can and search every corner, every gap, and every crack. Because in a last-ditch attempt, you might just find an exit that saves you. What if the guards suddenly turned into giants? In red light, green light, they'd be scarier than the doll itself. If someone got eliminated, the bullet would hit like a truck, blasting everyone else nearby. And this is going to be even worse for close proximity games like Dalgona. But in Glass Bridge, where they could move freely, this is going to be much, much worse. Because those giant guards could actually catch the falling players just to throw them off faster. What if Squid Game was played by the VIPs instead? In red light, green light, they'd use everything in their power to avoid getting shot. One might even buy the doll so it stops targeting him. Then during Dalgona, instead of doing it themselves, they'll have their private chef and servants to handle it for them. And back at the dorm, they'll have queen-size beds and eat steak almost every dinner. Meanwhile, Gion gets whatever scraps are left. Every time you die, you reset to day 1. Eventually, you're going to win. The only question is, how long? In red light, green light, you could literally win on your first try, as long as you didn't panic on the first attempt. During Dalgona, if you picked the umbrella and failed, you can just go for the triangle next. And in Glass Bridge, even if you go first every time, with enough tries, you'll eventually figure out the right path.